Peace Accord was a masterpiece of ambiguity.
In order to get President Thieu and the South Vietnamese to go along with the Paris Agreement, President Nixon pulled out all of the stops. And in a letter to President Thieu, he promised that if the North Vietnamese were to substantially violate the terms of the Paris Agreement, the United States would respond with full force. In other words, re-enter the war.
The North Vietnamese viewed Nixon as a madman. They were terrified of him. They believed that Nixon, if necessary, would bring back American air power. But in August 1974, he was gone. Nixon resigned because of Watergate. And overnight, everything changed. Hanoi suddenly saw the road to Saigon as being open.
The South Vietnamese population had ample reason to fear the Vietnamese communists. The communists' conduct throughout the course of the war had been violent and unforgiving. For example, when the city of Hue was taken over by the North Vietnamese, several thousand people on a long blacklist were rounded up: school teachers, government civil servants, people who were known anti-communists, and they were executed. In some cases, even buried alive. So panic was but a millimeter away.
Vietnam has reached a critical phase, requiring immediate and positive decisions by this government. There are tens of thousands of South Vietnamese employees of the United States government, of news agencies, of contractors and businesses for many years, whose lives, with their dependents, are in very grave peril. I am therefore asking the Congress to appropriate without delay $722 million for emergency military assistance for South Vietnam. If the very worst were to happen, at least allow the orderly evacuation of Americans and endangered South Vietnamese to places of safety.
We could see that the South Vietnamese army was eroding. Supplies had been cut off, and you could see the armaments dwindling.
We were, under the terms of the Paris Agreement, committed to resupplying the South Vietnamese. They lacked simple things like barbed wire and bags for sandbags. They were rationing their artillery shells because they were running out.
Congress wouldn't pass it. They said no more. You know, no more troops, no more money, no more aid to the Vietnamese. Well, I had to go into President Ford's office to tell him. I had never heard Ford use a curse word in all the time I'd known him. But when I showed him this story, he said, "Those sons of bitches."
Living under oppression and poverty in Vietnam, at the same time forcing hundreds of thousands of others to flee.
To deliberately shut the doors to those former allies fleeing a cruel, brutal dictatorship would add moral shame to a military humiliation. It would have mocked the service of 2.5 million Americans and the supreme sacrifice of 58,209 who gave their lives so that a small land on the other side of the globe might somehow elude the grip of communist tyranny.
It has been a quarter century since the Vietnamese communists took over South Vietnam. 1,200,000 South Vietnamese refugees have made their homes in the United States, over 10,000 of whom are in West Michigan. Yet, Vietnam remains little known to most Americans and younger Vietnamese in America even to this day.